Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for another practice today. So this flow today is going to be a goddess-themed flow. So we're going to be connecting to that kind of feminine energy throughout. But I just want to say before we get started that we're all made up of this combination of masculine and feminine energy. So when we look at this feminine energy side, we're connecting to kind of being soft yet strong. So connecting to Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and feeling that sense of kind of moving our body in a nourishing, nurturing way, but still having those boundaries. So not pushing ourselves past our limits, being kind to our body, listening to our body, having boundaries there as well. So we'll start the practice in a comfortable seated position, grabbing any blocks or props as well that you might need for the class. And we're going to bring one hand to the chest and one hand to the belly, seeing if you can find a sense here of being held. Start to close down the eyes or take a steady gaze out in front. And then you can relax the neck and the shoulders. Beginning to observe any thoughts passing through the thinking mind. Perhaps taking a moment to notice what it means for you to connect to that divine feminine energy. And seeing if you can bring that with you in your practice today as we flow through. Opening the eyes back up if you have them closed and release the hands from the body. We're going to bring the hands to heart center, finding our Anjali Mudra here. On your inhale, open the arms out to cactus, strong through the core. Notice if your ribs are flaring at all here and try and really draw in from the root. So belly button drawing in towards the spine. On your next exhale, you're going to draw the arms in together and see if you can drop the head and find a rounding here. So moving with the breath, we inhale, open across the chest, open the arms out to cactus. Then we exhale, round the spine, drop the head down. Inhale, opening out. Exhale, rounding, dropping the head down. Last one, inhale, opening out, across the chest, shining the heart forwards. Exhale, closing in, rounding, feeling that opening into the back of the spine, the back of the neck. Inhale, come back to center, release the arms, take a couple of shoulder rolls here. We'll take our wrist flicks now, so shaking it out through the wrists and the hands. This is a really nice way to release any energy that's not serving you, any stagnant energy. Just flicking it away. Well done, and release. Now we're going to open this right leg out to the side. It doesn't matter how wide this right leg comes. We are bringing it away from the center line of the body so that we're opening into the hip space here. So this left leg's still bent in. And you're either going to bring the hand to the outside of the right leg, and we're going to come into a stretch here. So inhaling, sweeping that left arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, you're coming into a stretch. So keeping that nice space across the chest. If you're rounding the spine here at all, you might be coming a little too far, so you can try easing off. If you're able to come deeper into your stretch and that's in your practice, then you can come over, maybe this left hand starts to find the right foot. That's just an option. Keep the gaze and the chest shining towards the ceiling. Breathing here, feeling that deep stretch into the left side body. And slowly release from the stretch. Bring the hands out in front. We're going to take a fold now. So just remember, you can have any blocks or props that you need to support you here. So taking anything that you need now, and then from here, we'll inhale, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. As you exhale, keeping the spine long, start to fold forwards. So you could be staying higher up or coming lower down, depending on what feels right for you. Breathing here. And as you connect to the breath, seeing if on the inhale, maybe you can find a little bit of space, lifting the chest, and on the exhale, melting down. So inhale, we lift and we lengthen. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, start to walk the hands back in, so coming back up from the fold. And now we're going to come into a little transition to skandasana here. So we're going to see if you can bring this left foot down to the ground. And you're either going to see if you can come into your skandasana. Be mindful here that a lot of this is ankle mobility and mobility through the hips. So if your ankles are quite tight or you're feeling anything that's not right on the knees, then use your hands as you come up and then come up higher. So your skandasana could be looking more like this. Use props and blocks to support you. So you could have your blocks here. You could be up on the toes in your skandasana if that works better for you. So find your root of the pose with the foot and the ankle. Find that place that works for you and then work from there. So then we're going to bring the left fingertips down to the mat and sweep those right fingertips up to the sky. Breathing here. Bring the hands back to heart center or to your Anjali Mudra. See if you can power through into this right side skandasana. Again, if you need to be higher up, using blocks to support you, take that here. Be mindful of the knee and the ankle. Keep checking in with those areas of the body and how they feel. Opening up now, so right fingertips come down to the ground, left up to the sky, following with your gaze. Hands back to heart center. You can use your hands if you need to here, or you can do it without powering back through to your left side skandasana. Can you sit that hip down? Come back down to the mat. Then we're going to switch these legs over. So we've got the right leg bending in and this left leg's opening out to the side. It doesn't matter how far out your left leg's opening. It's not about necessarily doing your full range of movement here. So finding this place first. And then we're going to come into our stretch. So inhale, right fingertips reach up to the sky. As you exhale, finding this stretch. Maybe the right hand meets the left foot, but that's just an option, doesn't necessarily need to be there. Keep the heart and the gaze shining towards the ceiling. Sending your breath into the right side of the body. Inhale, start to come away from the stretch. Getting ready for our forward fold. So inhaling from a neutral spine position, lifting up and out from the waist as you exhale, folding forwards. So this could be really subtle. It could be that you're staying higher up, focusing here, and prioritizing the length and strength of the spine above coming deeper into any posture. Start to undulate with the breath. Inhale, maybe finding a gentle lift and lengthen. Exhale, folding. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, folding. So finding that fluidity in the movement. Inhale, walk the hands back in, come back up to center. Bring this right foot down to the mat and either shifting into your skandasana from here. And just remembering you can use the hands or come higher up. Once you're there, bring the right fingertips down to the mat. Left fingertips reach up to the sky. Gaze is coming towards the ceiling. Hands come back in together. Powering over to the other side. Left side skandasana. Opening out here. Moving with that divine feminine energy. Nurturing, nourishing, flowing. How does it feel to move in that way today? Bring the hands back in. Move back to your right side skandasana. Pausing here. Then we're going to bring the hips down to the mat. Bring the legs back down. And bring the legs in together now. And we're going to reach the fingertips out in front. Sit back and find your Navasana boat pose. So keep that space across the chest. Hands into heart center. Tap the fingertips over to the right side. Bring them back in. Come over to the left side. Bring them back in once more on each side. Right side. Bring them back in. Left side. Bring the hands back in. And then from here, I want you to see if without the hands, again, don't worry if you need to bring them down, that you can come forwards, lift the hips away and find our Malasana. So we're finding our yogic squat. So engaging through Mula Bandha here, engage through the root, the pelvic floor muscles, muscles at the seat of the pelvis, growing the spine tall. Again, if you need to have blocks to support you here under the hips or something under the heels, you absolutely can. Power up through the legs, coming up to standing. And then we're going to step the legs out wide on the mat with the toes pointing out. Inhale here, sweep the fingertips up to the sky, lift up and out from the waist. As we exhale, bend through the legs and cross the arms over, reaching them down to the ground. Float your goddess. So inhale, arms reach up, legs lengthen. Exhale, coming down low. Inhale, lifting and lengthening. Exhale, sweeping down. You can imagine that you're moving energy with the hands here. Knees are tracking over the toes when you come down. Last one. Trying to make these movements as graceful as you can. And then bring the hands down to the thighs. So down in your goddess, we really want the pelvis drawing up and in towards the body. So strong through the root, using our core. From here, we're going to dip this left shoulder down towards the mat. Gaze comes up to the sky. Back to neutral, dip the right shoulder down. Gaze comes up to the sky. Back to neutral. Bring the hands to Anjali Mudra. Stay with me. I know you're probably feeling that through the legs. Can you bring your right heel away from the mat? Pop it back down. Bring the left heel away. Pop it back down. Can you take both heels away from the mat? Have some fun with it. Keep breathing. And release. Well done. Lengthen through the legs. Point your toes forwards now. You can slightly pigeon toe the feet here if that feels good too. Inhale, lift your ribs away from your hips. Exhale, start to fold forwards, keeping the spine long. Finding your Prasarita Padasana. Hands come down towards the ground or to blocks. This left hand could be on a block here. And we're going to inhale and see if you can sweep this right arm up to the sky and then bring it back down. Switch over to the other side. Inhale, sweep this left arm up to the sky and around. Bring it back down. Inhale, right side. Bring it back down. And don't rush these movements. Nice and slow, mindful movements. Moving from one side to the other. Last one. And then meeting down in the fold in your Prasarita, just letting the head hang heavy. Option to take the peace fingers around the big toes, bending through the elbows. Head's coming towards the ground. Just remember you can keep a little bit of bend in the legs if you need to. Float the hands back to the hips. Inhale, start to lift the chest away, keeping that spine long, slow and controlled movements. Deep breaths as you come back up. Now we're going to pivot the feet, float the arms around and find your plank position on the mat. Work through your chaturanga. So on your inhale, you're either going to come into an upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, come back to your downward facing dog. Lifting those hips to the sky, growing the spine long. Reconnecting with your breath. From here, we're going to inhale, sweep that right leg up to the sky. Find a three-leg dog. Opening through the hips. Draw that right knee through. Step it through between the hands and drop your left knee down to the mat. Finding this a low lunge. Sweep the fingertips up to the sky. Use blocks here if you need to. Lifting up and out from the waist. Float the hands down to the mat, or you can pop your hands on blocks. So this left hand could be on a block here, or it could be on the mat. And we're going to start to bend this left leg in. So this can feel like quite a strong place to be. If you're working with a strap, you might like to have the strap around your back leg here. So just be really mindful of this left knee. checking in. If it doesn't feel right for you, you can just stay with the lunge. But seeing if maybe this right hand can reach around to the left foot and the left hand is placed down on the mat. So we're finding this really, really deep stretch into the left quad, into the left hip flexor. Breathing here. Start to release that back leg with control. Tuck your left toes under. Bring that right leg back. Find your downward facing dog. Lifting the hips to the sky. Inhale, shift the shoulders forwards, coming into plank position. Move through your chaturanga, inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Reconnecting with your breath. Inhale, this time we're sweeping the left leg up to the sky. Find your three-leg dog here, opening into the hips, keeping the shoulders strong. Sweep the left leg through. Step it through between the hands. Drop your right knee down. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky, low lunge. Make sure this front knee is stacked above the ankle. Now we're going to float the hands down. So right hand comes to the mat, left leg bends in. Sorry, right leg bends in, left hand comes to find that right foot. You can use a strap here instead, or just stay with the low lunge if this is too much for you. Breathing here, deep stretch into that right quad. Releasing that right leg back down to the mat. Tuck your right toes under, step the left leg back. Find your downward facing dog. Inhale, send the gaze between the hands. Step the feet in. As we lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the legs as much as you need to. Inhale, reach the fingertips up to the sky. Grow the spine tall. Exhale, hands come through to heart center. Step that right foot back, toes pointing out. Feet are just slightly further than hip width apart. Hands come through to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Inhale here, lifting the ribs away from the hips. As you exhale, bend through the legs, sink the hips down, finding our Malasana. Now again, if your Malasana needs to be higher up or you want to block under the hips, taking that here. Bring the right fingertips down, open out, sending the left fingertips up to the sky. Coming back to center, move over to the other side. So left fingertips come down, right fingertips reach up. Bringing the hands back to center, sit the hips down. Bring the soles of the feet together and allow your knees to drop out to the side. Finding our bound angle position. Hands can rest around the ankles. Inhale, lifting the crown of the head towards the ceiling. As you exhale, walking the hands forwards into your fold. Keeping that spine long, opening into this hip space. So much tension, emotions, different things stored in the body in this area. So just observing how this part of the body feels, noticing anything that's there, no judgment, just a sense of acceptance. Nothing has to be right or wrong. Inhale, coming away from the fold. Draw the knees back in together. Take a little window wipe with the knees from side to side. And come back to your comfortable seated position on the mat. I'm going to place the hand on the chest. One hand on the chest, one hand on the belly again here. Closing down the eyes as we start to come to the end of this practice. Beginning to notice your breath. Trust your breath. Trusting your body, trusting your emotions. Seeing if you can feel this connection to that part of you, that divine feminine energy. We all need a balance of the masculine and the feminine energies within all of us. But today, just finding that connection to the feminine. And this is a very strong energy. Starting to come away from the practice now. If you're ready to, if you have longer and you'd like to stay in a meditation or take a longer shavasana, then I definitely highly recommend that you do that. As always, thank you so much for doing this practice with me. It really does mean a lot to me, and I really want to hear from you of how you're getting on, and any feedback on these flows. Please do subscribe to this channel so that you can see the latest videos. And there's a link below to my membership and all the other things that I offer, so that you can keep in touch with me. So yes, thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you again for another flow very soon. Bye bye.